on the world news this hour. Presidency films tackles Obasanjo over democracy comments. Tinubu not undermining judiciary, no plan for one-party rule. Service chiefs, IGP appear before reps for security debates. Senate asks FG to immortalize national flag designer Akin Kumi. We will make electronic transmission of result mandatory. Senate. On sport, Globe Soccer Awards, Oshiomhole nominated for Best Men's Women's Player Award. I am Morire Rabila Lawal, the news in detail. The presidency on Monday blamed former President Olusegun Obasanjo for the current state of Nigeria's democracy. The special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Bayo Ononuga, said that the democracy the country currently practices dates back to direct input by Obasanjo when he led the country's first as military head of state from 1976 to 1979 and as civilian president from 1999 to 2007. Obasanjo ought to know that he brought this thing into Nigeria. He was the one who made us adopt it in 1979. He must have seen it as expensive and unsuitable when he governed us for 8 years and even wanted an extension for another 4 years. So the way he's sounding, it is like the man is getting wiser after leaving office, Ononuga said, reacting to Obasanjo's post-presidential stance. The president's response followed comments made by Obasanjo to the high-level consultation on rethinking Western liberal democracy in Africa held at Green Resort Legacy Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library, Ogun State. Obasanjo had criticized Western democracy, suggesting it had not delivered good governance and development in Africa. He called for a re-examination and moderation of democracy to better suit African nations, citing the Western model's disregard for African history and complexity. The ex-president said the snag with the liberal democracy was that it was not homegrown and did not take into account African history and multicultural complexities, among other peculiarities. President Bola Tinubu's administration says he is not undermining the judiciary and planning to foist a one-party state on Nigeria. The president said he was responding to People's Democratic Party (PDP) presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar's questions over the integrity of the judiciary following recent court judgments that sacked some governors of opposition parties in some states. In a statement, the president's special advisor on information and strategy, Bayo Ononuga, insisted that Tinubu remained committed to upholding judicial independence and Nigeria's democratic values. Ononuga added that the allegations arose in the context of the PDP's poor performance in recent appeal court rulings regarding the election of some of its governors. President Tinubu is a Democrat to the core. We make bold to say that as president, he has not interfered with the judgment of judiciary, the statement reads. The Service Chiefs and Inspector General of Police, IGP, Kayode Egbetokun, are before the House of Representatives. The Service Chiefs include the Chief of Defense Staff, CDS, General Christopher Mustafa, Musa, Chief of Army Staff, COAS, Lieutenant General Taurid Lagbaja, Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, and Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ogala. They were ushered into the Green Chamber for the security sectoral debate around this morning. This comes after last Thursday's criticism of the security aids by the lawmakers for sending representatives who were rejected. Before the executive session, the Service Chiefs and IGP took turns outlining the various efforts to address the country's security situation. The Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ogala, requested that the National Assembly intervene in enhancing surveillance to cover the backwaters, creeks, and other areas behind the coastline. IGP Egbetokun Kayode outlined some challenges within the force, including poor logistic provision, insufficient patrol vehicles for police divisions, inadequate training, and poor welfare of personnel. CDS Musa requested improved funding, disclosing that every military man, including himself, is fed at 1,500 naira per day. The defense staff wanted the collaboration of the judiciary to ensure that criminals are not released on technicalities and that special court address the arrest of high-level criminals. He expressed concern that it puts the safety of security personnel at risk, adding that Simon Ekpa was a menace to the country and that action must be taken diplomatically. On illegal mining, General Musa expressed a desire for state to take cover and over for proper management. The Senate on Tuesday asked the federal government to immortalize the late designer of the national flag, Pa Taiwo Akinkumi. Akinkumi died in Ibadan on August 29th this year. After the motion moved by Senator Sharafuddin Abiodun representing Oyo South, the lawmakers observed a minute's silence. They also called on the federal government to conduct a state burial in his honor for his befitting role in the design of the national flag. The Senate also dissolved into the Committee of the Whole to consider the report of the Committee on the Federal Road Maintenance Agency, FEMA. The upper chamber therefore approved the appointment of Engineer Chukwemeka Agbasi as Managing Director of FEMA, as well as 9 others as member of the agency. Also, during plenary, the Senate President announced Abba Moro of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) as a new minority leader. Moro, Benue South, replaces Senator Simon Nwankwo, representing Plateau North, under the platform of the PDP, who was sacked by the court on October 22. An uproar, however, ensued in the upper chamber when Senator Osita Ungu Enugu West PDP was announced as Senate Minority Whip, replacing Senator Darlington Nkwocha from the Labour Party. The Senate has vowed to make it compulsory for the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to transmit election results electronically. The Senate Committee on Electoral Matters said that it is working towards these improvements. Chairman of the committee, Senator Sharafuddin Ali, said that the current law does not mandate the electoral umpire to transmit results online. However, he assured that there will soon be a law which will come through the amendment of the existing law. But as we are going forward, it is going to be mandatory. We are looking at the development of technology, improvement of technology, because a lot of Nigerians were disappointed when the use of the IREP didn't work. But going forward, we will try to ensure INEC does something about that, he said. Troops of Operation Safe Haven have neutralized no fewer than 7 bandits and arrested 33 suspects in connection with kidnapping, murder, arms dealing, criminal attacks, railway vandalism, cattle rustling, and farm destruction. The Nigerian Army headquarters, in a post on its official X handle today, said the troops also recovered several dangerous weapons. The post revealed that on November 13, troops acting on a tip-off arrested one Mr. Suleiman Mohammed for allegedly possessing one AK-47 rifle and a mobile phone in the Bakin Kogi area, Zango Kataf LGA of Kaduna State. The same day, the troops arrested 5 suspects in connection with an attack on one Mr. Sati Pewat on his farm at Telengpat village in Mangu, LGA of Plateau State. Similarly, on November 14, troops conducted a raid operation at Telengpat village in the Porsche district of Mangu, LGA, Plateau State, and arrested one Umarana Ademu in possession of one AK-47 rifle, 1 magazine, and 9 rounds of 7.62 mm special. Similarly, on November 14, 2023, troops acting on credible information arrested a suspected arms dealer, Mr. Rufai Abdullahi, at Kamuru area in Zango Kataf, local government area of Kaduna State. Moving on from the north to the south. The Ogun State government on Tuesday began the demolition of illegal structures and shanties along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway to position the state as the industrial hub of Nigeria. Farouk Akintunde, the senior special assistant to the state governor, Dapo Abiodun on environment, led a task force that carried out the demolition exercise. Akintunde said the demolition was very important as the shanties and makeshift structures have always disfigured the corridor and are also known to provide hideout for criminals in the Kara area. According to Akintunde, the exercise was also necessary to position Ogun State as the industrial hub of Nigeria. Ogun State has a role to play in the economic advancement of the nation. The DGSGD is known as a tourist center, Akintunde said. No serious investor will come here and partner with us with all these kinds of shanties and garbage. While the demolition exercise was being carried out, security agencies such as the State Police and operatives of the Ogo State Community Social Orientation and Safety Corps were present to help prevent any breakouts of violence. The Lagos State Police Command says it has not received the autopsy report of the late musician Ilerioluwa Aloba, also known as Mohbad, which was completed 2 months ago. It is already 2 months since the late singer Mohbad's body was exhumed and an autopsy conducted to determine the cause of the singer's death. After Mohbad's murder on September 12 caused controversy both within and outside Nigeria, the police formed an investigation team to find out the circumstances surrounding the musician's death. In September, Benjamin Hundeyin, the public relations officer for the state police, tweeted that an autopsy has been concluded and the authorities were awaiting results. In October, Mohbad's murder was linked to a number of main suspects, including then Commissioner of Police Idowu Omonwa, who said Mohbad had experienced vomiting and goosebumps following 3 injections from nurse Feyi-Shayo Ogedengbe on September 12, 2023. Following it, charges were brought against a few of the suspects. However, last Friday, the State Police Command freed singers Aziz Fashola aka Naira Marley and Balogo Samson aka Sam Larry after they fulfilled their bail requirements. Recall that following the release of footage online showing the late singer being assaulted, the duo was taken into custody as part of an inquiry into Mohbad's death. In response to the question regarding the release of Mohbad's autopsy report, Hundeyin said the report had not yet been officially received by the command. The father of a 13-year-old student, Mr. Alfred Chima, whose daughter was murdered in Eche local government area of Rivers State, has vowed, insisting that the killers of his daughter must pay for it. Until her death, the deceased Peace Chima was said to be an SS1 student of community secondary school in Eche and hailed from the Amaku Umba axis of Eche local government area of the state. The father of the victim, who expressed his unforgiveness at the palace of the Royal Highness, was quoted as saying that I will not keep quiet till the killers of my daughter are caught and face the consequences for killing my daughter, even if I have to go spiritual. Recall that the police had said that they are investigating the murder of Peace Chima after the body of the deceased was found in Amaku Umba community in HALGA of the state. It was gathered that the victim was brutally did the act with while she was on an errand sent by a parent to Okei from Amaku Umba community, all in HALGA. The Community Development Committee Chairman in Amaku Umba, Comrade Kingsley Nwanyang, told correspondent on ground that the victim was kidnapped, killed and buried in the bush. The spokesperson for the HA Council of Elders, who was identified as Robinson, said a suspect has been arrested in connection with the killing. Moving on to the foreign story. Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh said today his militant movement was nearing a truce agreement with Israel, according to a statement sent by his office to AFP. We are close to reaching a deal on truce, Haniyeh said according to the statement. Negotiators have been working on to seal a deal to allow the release of around 240, mostly Israeli hostages seized on October 7 during the deadliest assault on Israel in its history. Hamas fighters also killed around 1,200 people during the cross-border assault, most of them civilians. Israel launched a relentless bombing campaign and ground offensive in retaliation for the attack, vowing to destroy Hamas and secure the release of the hostages. According to the Hamas government in Gaza, the war has killed more than 13,000 people, thousands of them children. Intense negotiations mediated by Qatar, where Hamas has a political office and where Haniyeh is based, have been underway for weeks. Qatar's Prime Minister said Sunday that a deal to free some of the hostages in return for a temporary ceasefire hinged on minor practical issues. Finally, on sports. Victor Osimhen has been nominated for the 2023 Globe Soccer Award for Best Men's Player, information learned. Osimhen, 24, is nominated alongside 29 other players. Also in contention for the prestigious award are Nicolo Barella, Jude Bellingham, Karim Benzema, Yassine Bono, Anthony Griezmann, Ilkay Gundogan, Kibaka Kvaratskhelia and Roberto Lewandowski for the prestigious award. The other nominees are Lautaro Martinez, Kylian Mbappe, Lionel Messi, Kim Min-jae, Luka Modric, Cristiano Ronaldo, Harry Kane, and Vinicius Jr. Osimhen won the Emerging Player of the Year in the 2022 edition. The Nigerian international finished in 8th position in this year 2023 Men's Ballon d'Or. His compatriot Asisat Oshoala was also nominated in the women's category. Oshoala played a key role in Barcelona Femini's UEFA Women's Champions League success last season. It is the first time she has been nominated for the award. On that note, on sport, we've come to the end of today's world news. Before we go, some headlines. Presidency fumes tackles Obasanjo over democracy comments. Tinubu not undermining judiciary, no plan for one-party rule. Presidency. Service chiefs, IGP appear before reps for security debates. We also brought to you Senate asked FG to immortalize national flag designer Akin Kumi. We will make electronic transmission of result mandatory. Senate. On sports, Globe Soccer Awards, Osimhen Oshoala nominated for Best Men's and Women's Players Award. For updates of our broadcast on YouTube, our handle is Baba Bagede Imo Television. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell. Select option all to access all of our broadcasts. On Facebook, Bagede Imo with Alawiye Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. For advert placement of goods and services, coverage of events and function, please dial the phone number streaming on your screen. Thank you for watching. I am Morire Rabila Lawal. Good evening.